absolutely love talking about classic books that are not as widely known but should be. Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today is the episode 2 on the books that according to you everyone should read. In one of the videos some months back I asked you to let me know in the comments what is the book that you think absolutely everyone should read, and you very kindly came back with lots of wonderful recommendations. I split them into 3 categories. I already talked about the Holy Grail classics. Today is probably my favorite episode because we're going to be talking about books that should be talked about more, and I am so glad that we're giving them spotlight today. So let's jump in. I've got my list here. First one up is A Month in the Country. This dates back to 1980. It was written by J.L. Carr. I did hear this title mentioned quite a few times on different booktube channels recently, so maybe this book is slowly getting some popularity. Apparently Carr was an English school teacher and he turned to writing books quite late in life. A Month in a Country is a short novel that follows a shell-shocked World War I veteran who dedicates himself to restoring a medieval mural in a rural, oh my goodness, that must be one of the most difficult words to pronounce in English. Medieval mural in rural Yorkshire. And this book is supposed to be about healing, about memory. It is set during a summertime, so I think I might read this one in the summer. Thank you very much for mentioning it, whoever recommended it. The next title is The Phantom of the Opera. How interesting, because this title has never quite found itself on my TBR, which it will now. Apparently, the Gothic original is far stranger and darker than the movie adaptations that we know. Let me know if you've actually read the book and what you thought about it, and whether you think it does deserve to be on this list of books that everyone should read. Next, we have Clarice Inspector, and actually, interestingly, not one but 2 books by her were mentioned by you. One was The Passion According to G.H., and the other one was, I have it further down the list, An Apprenticeship or The Book of Pleasures. I don't have, oops, almost lost the list. I don't have either of those books. I do have something by Clarice, which I haven't read yet. It's Hour of the Star, which is the title that is most of the time recommended to those of you who are like me, who have not read Lispector yet. And this is supposed to be the most safe entry book into her writing. So definitely on my list, and I will check out the other 2 titles as well. All 3 books that I've mentioned by her were written in the 60s. And actually on this list of lesser known classics, I have quite a few modern classics. The next one is, and actually this is one of the books that I do have, and that is Abigail by Magda. Szabó. I did talk about this book already in my video on the books I'm going to read in 2026. Very, very high on my list. Everything that I know about this book is way up my street. I am super excited about reading this and about exploring more Magda Szabó. How fascinating that one of you at least also thought that this is one of those books that should be read by everyone, and this should be a much more widely recognized classic. The next author I was so intrigued by that name because I've never heard about it. It is Ernesto Sabato. And I went into a bit of a rabbit hole with this one because suddenly I started to want to know more about this writer. He was originally trained as a physicist before turning to literature and existential philosophy. And he is mostly known for this trilogy, which consists of the books titled The Tunnel. This dates 1948, On the Heroes and Tombs, 1961, and The Angel of Darkness, 1974. These are all expansive and philosophical and fragmented and slightly apocalyptic type of stories, blending fiction with autobiography. And when I was reading people's comments about this author, everyone seems to really appreciate him and like him despite his works sounding very unusual, and actually they don't sound like something easy to read. So I am very, very intrigued about discovering Sabato. If any of you viewers have read his books, let me know which one to start with. Otherwise, I will probably start with the first one, The Tunnel. The next title on the list is a book I read last year, and that is Three Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. This dates back to 1889. I do have a copy, right here on the edge. The full title actually is Three Men in a Boat, to Say Nothing of the Dog. I absolutely love that title. This is my brother's favorite classic, and I can see why, because the humor in here is extremely good. It is slapstick type of humor, which for me, as I went along reading this book, it got a little bit repetitive, but definitely when I started this book, I was laughing out loud. And apart from the humor, you've got some beautiful descriptions of nature in there as well. Is it my favorite classic? No, but it was interesting to see that some of you thought, and actually my brother would probably be included in this category, that this is a book that everyone should read. Another author whom I've never heard about before, and I am so grateful you mentioned her to me. And again, with this one, I went into a bit of a rabbit hole, is María Luisa Bombal. This is another South American writer because she was Chilean, and apparently she was the one who not invented but highly influenced magical realism. Gabriel Garcia Marquez, I believe, was writing after María Luisa Bombal, and I managed to get hold of one of her books, which is titled House of Mist. I don't know why, but it seems like it's almost impossible to purchase her books here in the UK. There is another book that she is known by. It is titled The Shrouded Woman, and I didn't see that book being available absolutely anywhere. I checked eBay, I checked used bookstores, so I think I'm going to get the other one when I'm in Poland, and I'm just going to get Polish translation, which I did see was available. This book is supposed to be exposing female solitude and desire, and supposed to be very hypnotic and dreamlike. I personally don't mind magical realism if it's done well. I am a big fan of it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but Garcia Marquez is one of my favorite writers ever. So I very much look forward to exploring what María Luisa Bombal is all about. Great recommendation. Thank you very much. Otherwise, I probably would have never heard of her. Okay, we've got 3 more titles to go through. The next on the list is The Letters of Vincent van Gogh. These were published after his death in 1914. Apparently, he was not only a painter, but also an extraordinary writer. And these are his letters to his brother Theo, which reveal discipline, theological reflection, artistic theory, and deep vulnerability. They also supposed to dismantle this bit of a myth of Vincent van Gogh being this mad genius. I have put this now on my list to read. And then we have Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. Obviously, Nabokov is mostly known for his other book, which I know is a little bit controversial. Of course, I am talking about Lolita. I haven't read it. I haven't read anything by Nabokov, but actually, you lovely viewers mentioned Pale Fire and not Lolita as the book that everyone should read. So, Pale Fire apparently is structured as a 999 line poem with footnotes that slowly take over the narrative. It sounds very intellectual to me and at the same time very playful. I think I would have to be in quite an adventurous frame of mind to reach for this book, but you never know. Let me know if you've read it. Oh, and the last title, actually, I have already mentioned because that was the second title you recommended, by Clarice Lispector, and that was an apprenticeship of the Book of Pleasures. And that one is supposed to be a more gentle Lispector, more about quiet awakening and less about metaphysical terror. So yes, definitely I'm looking forward to discovering Lispector, hopefully this year. The sun is getting into my eyes now. 1 second. Okay, that's better. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you also had a chance to add 1 or 2 titles to your own TBR. We've got 1 more episode about the books that you recommended for everyone to read, and the final episode will be all about contemporary titles, some very interesting titles in there. So stay tuned, and as always, I will see you next week on a Friday. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you then.